Hey, Kyle, what are you playing?
I have been playing the Knights of the Old Republic series
That is
again.
that is a really excellent video game that holds up super well.
Yeah.
Boy, does that hold up
Um,
super well.
it holds up really great, except that it's ugly as sin.
No, that's true.
Um, the graphics, especially for KOTOR 1, which I completed the other day because I got the remastered for Switch a while back instead of saving money for groceries. I should have just I should have just played it on the PC again, but I really wanted to play it on Switch. Oh well. Anyways, uh,
But you can't mod it on.
you can't mod it on Switch, but it's on Switch.
There's a lot of games I bought on Switch that I didn't even play. I just wanted them on Switch.
There are very few games I wouldn't rather have on Switch.
I legit bought Dark Souls on Switch literally and only because I could.
I mean, like, Dark Souls is a game that if I could afford it, I would throw as much money to as I can because, regardless of the relative size and mainstreamity of their studio now, I have gotten hundreds of hours out of real quality enjoyment out of Dark Souls.
Yeah, but we're
Not
done
just,
talking.
like,
We're done talking about Dark Souls though. We need to stop. We need to stop.
We do need to stop talking about Dark Souls. Okay, I'm playing KOTOR 2 now because I beat KOTOR 1.
Yeah.
And finishing my thought on KOTOR 1 being that, boy, those graphics were designed right after, like, 3D graphics got good enough to stop being charming but not good enough to look, like, good.
Yeah.
Because, like, 3D Mario, the one of the first 3D games, looks awful, but it is still charming. Final Fantasy VII looks awful, still charming. KOTOR 1 is just kind of gross.
Actually, so I actually recently played a bunch of KOTOR with my ex, and no, I didn't play. I gotta watch my ex play, and what struck me, like, because there's a lot I can forgive, because I'm old and I've been playing video games a long goddamn time, and it's pretty easy for me to go back. Now, there's certainly stuff that I just can't go. I don't think I could even touch Morrowind. I don't think I could, because like that line, I started here, and you can't go farther back in the line. But there are other games that like I have already played and already know their weirdness and their jank, and I'm familiar with it and can totally go back to them. I think a sort of like common denominator on this would be a Pokemon game. So many of us have played like a 2D pixel sprite Pokemon game that we can easily go back, pick up, like, dust off Emerald or what have you, and be like, yo, I'm in. And hence like fucking what's the death mode? Nuzlocke.
Oh, Nuzlocke?
Yeah. Took me a second. I had it in there. Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, big replay value. I'll tell you the oldest, jankiest game that I could just always go back to and do another run of, and it is called Wizardry 6 Crusaders of the Dark Savant.
That's a name.
Isn't it?
Is it like a point-and-click adventure game? That sounds like a point-and-click adventure game title.
All right, hang on now. That is a good guess. That is a reasonable guess, but I'm going to draw you a picture actually right now of what this game is like. So you've got your main screen, and it's a square, and it shows you the path ahead and like the path here, but there's like a block here, and it's like, this is like a shrubbery, but this is like a tile thing. So it's you kind of see like a three-dimensional 3x3 script, and then like 3 in, it just becomes like Fog of War, right? And so it's kind of like a Maze Runner, where it's a 2x2 grid, but like presented in 3D tiles, and you're moving forward, left, turning right, moving right, left. So you're navigating this this square grid in 3 dimensions. On either side of the world view, you've got your dudes. Just give him a little face here. Make a little dragon dude. This is big, tough boy right here, and a little fairy. So these 6 people represent your team. There are some details that I have included in this little scribble here that may introduce a lot of the things that like led to my own personal world building, like the fact that you can be a fairy, or a cat person, or a human, or an elf, or again, they were orcs, but whatever. Playable fairies really had an effect on me, because fairies are people in my world. Anyway, and you have each character's like health bar and their mana bar at the bottom, and you've got some fucking like buttons. Drawing it for you right here. Buttons, and so these buttons would control all of the stuff. And then you'd see like right here, you'd see like a fucking like angry bee or whatever. And so the angry bee would show up, and now you got to fight it. And then it becomes like a turn-based fight. So it's an RPG. Is what I took all this time to say. This game is hard as fuck. It's jank as fuck. It's unfair and bullshit. I love it to death, and I will love it until the end of my days. I love this game so much. This was actually Wizardry 7, not 6. Wizardry... Crusaders of the Dark Savant. Some of the NPCs and antagonists were aliens, including the militaristic, what do you call it? Bipedal rhinoceri called the Umpani. Not the antagonistic, militaristic bipedal rhinoceri from Destiny 2 called the Cabal. Different ones entirely. Completely different space rhinoceri. Completely different space rhinoceri. Destiny. Huh? What?
It all comes back to Destiny.
No, Destiny. It all comes back to Wizardry because Wizardry got that from Destiny. Other way around. Hey, Alan!
Hey, Alan.
It's me, Comfortable Doug.
Comfortable Doug.
Oh, I do not like Comfortable Doug.
Oh, no. Oh, thanks for hosting, Tia.
Hey. Hi, also Tia. Right, no, yeah, so Space Rhinoceri absolutely came from Wizardry and Destiny Solar. But their Space Rhinoceri are unique enough. They're legally distinct. I'm fine with that. But the thing is that the Space Rhinoceri super duper fucking hated the psychic space spiders. Called the Terang. So the Umpani and the Terang were always at war. And so whatever the hell it was that you were trying to do as your party of 6 RPG adventurers in Wizardry 7 and the Crusaders of the Dark Savant, the Terang and the Umpani were also trying to do, and so there were quest lines about helping and then ultimately sabotaging both of them so that they couldn't get the thing that you're after and that you would then get the thing. You could actually team up with them and get to the end, but that's boring. Don't worry about it. Point being, this game's old as shitty fuck. It's garbage trash. Don't play it unless you are really looking to hurt yourself. But a lot of my world-building ideas and inspiration came from the world-building inspiration of this particular series.
So I'm going to get back to talking about WoW.
Yeah, let's get back to that. I talk a lot.
That's fine. So in replaying KOTOR 2, and I have gotten... for those of you who don't know, it was a very unfinished game when it first came out. Boy, was it. So the worst part about it is there were a bunch of things that were like 85% done. Just barely not done enough to be shipped. That's bad business. Well, I kind of understand the situation because, keep in mind that LucasArts contracted out BioWare for the first Knights of the Old Republic. BioWare contracted out Obsidian for Knights of the Old Republic 2. So Obsidian had essentially no negotiation all on the deadline and no real direct communication about it.
Interesting.
Like, looking at it like business-wise, I definitely like I see how things got the way they were, and I don't particularly like fault Obsidian all that much for it.
Keep talking. I'm gonna be right back. I need to grab something.
Gotcha. So yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 2 was a very unfinished game. But over the years, people there's, and I'm gonna get to this. There's something very special about KOTOR 2, and a lot of people it has a much bigger cult following than Knights of the Old Republic 1.
I'm back.
And as a result, a lot of people have been taking that 85% finished content and getting the other 15% and modding it back into the game. As far as I'm aware, they are officially done now. Last time I played it, 5 years ago, they hadn't finished everything. And keep in mind, this is like a 10-year-old game, maybe 14, something like that. It's been a while. But replaying this game, sort of knowing what's going to be coming, I am first off really excited because I'm seeing how certain side quests that didn't really go anywhere originally, I kind of know where they're going now, and that's exciting to me. But talking on a general scale, I told you about this.
Yeah, because I understand. I started but never finished KOTOR 2. I need to get back around to it, and part of the reason why is because I found out there was missing content, and I was playing an unpatched version of the game, which made me very sad. And I believe I can simply patch what I've started and actually get the rest of the content, but I haven't gotten around to doing that.
Unfortunately, it is a mod. It won't work that way.
Oh, okay. So
it changes stuff from the beginning all the way through. Yeah.
Well, I'll just add that to my to-do list. Boy, did I get my character. Boy, did I get my character exactly where I wanted her.
No, I can I remember when you started, and I was like, you should look into stuff, and then you started, and unfortunately that was the case.
The message didn't hit me in time because I just dove in. But I understand that the KOTOR 2, like KOTOR 1, has some spoilery ass reveals at times. That's the. You don't need to respond. You don't even to react, because this is me speaking in ignorance. Okay. I don't know for sure. I do know that KOTOR 1 has some spoilery ass giant reveals in it. Excellent story. Fucking play that. And I just kind of assumed, based on the way that people casually talk about KOTOR 2, that the same may still be true.
I do actually want to respond to this.
Okay.
In that it's not that there aren't twists, but KOTOR 1 is building to a big reveal.
That's true.
KOTOR 2 is trying to get you to understand something. It's not, when things happen, they're not a surprise. They are logical conclusions.
I like that.
Are...
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
Roger. Distinction clear to me.
So the first thing I brought up to you, though, that makes it really interesting as a Star Wars story in particular, is that it is not a war story. There is not a war in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. It is a post-war story.
I like this.
The Republic has just gotten out of the war that was the events of Knights of the Old Republic 1.
The Jedi Civil War.
The Jedi Civil War. And the Republic is fucked.
It's not doing great.
One of the characters actually had a line that I thought was really great, is not a lot of people know this, but the Republic actually lost the war, regardless of what happened between the main character of KOTOR 1 and Malik, the main villain of KOTOR 1.
Yeah, the events of KOTOR 1.
Yeah, regardless of what happened between them, whether you go the light side or dark side route. The simple fact remains is the Republic was so devastated from the war, it now lacks the infrastructure to sustain itself. And rather than, going on some big galaxy-saving journey to save the Republic, you're just sort of cruising around, seeing the destruction, and doing what you can to help out. And, at least from a light side perspective, that's what you're doing.
Cruising through the universe, having lots of fun. Here comes KOTOR 2, you know that it's the mighty one. That was for no one! That was for maybe Alan, if they're still listening. That was for no one! Alan, if you're still here and you heard... No, Alan doesn't even have audio. God damn it. That was for no one. I'm so mad because it was a really good one. But no one that ever hears this will get that. Please, Kyle, please continue.
Don't tell me what to do. So, like I said, post-war story, which means the atmosphere is a lot less adventurous and a lot more oppressive.
Yes.
I like... So, I'm doing the light side. I'm almost a full light side character for this particular one. I tried to go a lot more gray with KOTOR 1, but, I really... Like, the main character is... Okay, sorry, getting into my whole Star Wars lore bit. So before the events of KOTOR 1 was the Mandalorian Wars, and that was this big ol' conflict where the Mandalorians, which if you've seen the new Disney Plus Mandalorian series, you know how badass that one guy is? Imagine if they had an armada. They challenged the Republic and creamed them, and the Jedi didn't do anything about it. The Council was very strict, saying that no, the Jedi aren't getting involved with this.
See, I kind of want to chime in here because I actually love what that was all about. The Mandalorians wanted to fight the Jedi. This is like, oh my god, fucking super powerful space wizards. We want to butt heads with those guys. We're gonna go mad atrocities until they get involved. Like, the Mandalorians were interested in fighting the Jedi. But the Jedi were like, whoa. This is like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
None of our like dogma or protocols or anything fucking deals with it. We don't even know what to do. And they were actually kind of like gridlocked by overwhelmed by the existence of this threat. This threat that very specifically was doing what it was doing because it wanted to fight the Jedi. And the Mandalorians put the Jedi in a position where it's just like, we're going to keep going until you fight us. Period. Until we are going to obliterate everything, or you will fight us. And the Jedi didn't want to fight, and boy did that get political and gridlocked and interesting about. And I think both KOTOR and KOTOR 2 are reflecting on everything that we stand for is all about. No, we're not gonna get involved in this fucking bullshit. We got mad sick magic space powers. And then the few people that said, no, they're gonna keep doing this until we fight them. We need to fight them. And then they did. And then, Kyle, please continue.
So, and the Jedi were very hesitant to go in because
Jedi.
Falling to that taunt wouldn't really might hurt more, in their eyes anyways, might hurt more than it helped.
Yeah, because on top of, man, we can't engage in this fucking brutality. This is some nuts-ass bullshit. They've also got that whole light side, dark side shenanigans going on that they're kind of trying to figure out for themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like I'm gonna write this down and bring it up when you're done, because I don't want to. I want to like. I want when I grab the mic from you, I want to hand it back, please.
Interrupt me again. See what? It's okay. I love your input. I keep losing my train of thought, though.
Okay. Jedi Civil War. Jedi don't want to get involved. Mandalorians are trying to get them involved, but the Jedi are kind of being Jedi about it.
Yeah. One particular Jedi, known as Darth Revan, very important character in lore, said, "No, fuck this. We're gonna get involved." So Revan took himself and several other Jedi and just
bunch of dudes
joined the Republic to fight the Mandalorians, and
let's wreck them.
Yeah, and succeeded. The tide of the war like immediately turned. Revan was like always known as being like this like massive of power and inspiration. So he was very easily, I mean, like not even easily, but like he won the war like almost single-handedly, according to the Mandalorians. The main character of Knights of the Old Republic 2 is a Jedi who joined Revan against the Mandalorians. After that war, Revan goes off and ends up falling to the dark side and becoming a Sith. But rather than joining him with that, like everyone else did, you are the one Jedi that returned from the Mandalorian Wars to face judgment from the Council. And that is also an interesting setup. It is enough to give you this sense that like you are a character in the world. You are a specific like person who has been through things, but it is also vague enough for you to you're not so much determining who the character is as much as who they are in the moment that you're playing.
And this is really useful in the KOTOR games, because in both KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, the player character is like branching towards light side or dark side, and your both characters are in a position to be like, oh man, I got the Force. Oh man, all this stuff's happening around me. Oh man, I can make my decisions. Oh man, I can go down this path or this path. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think that, certain spoilers aside, the KOTOR 2 character has a more interesting light side, dark side path. Mm-hmm. But not counting the spoiler moments of Dark Souls. Fucking god damn it! Fucking god damn it! KOTOR 1.
Okay.
Fuck me! Shit!
Got Dark Souls on the brain.
Yeah. The overall light side, dark side decisions that KOTOR 2 protagonist needs to go through are more interesting, but the overall light side, dark side path of KOTOR 1 protagonist is super cool at key points.
It is KOTOR 1 is very Star Wars in a really hyped way.
That is the best way to actually say it.
Whereas KOTOR 2 is a lot more nuanced. Like, a big thing in KOTOR is getting a better look at the Jedi and seeing that maybe they're not, like, the super big force of good in the galaxy.
I got you. KOTOR 1 is an excellent Star Wars movie. KOTOR 2 is an excellent Star Wars novel.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
You go on.
But yeah, like you said, determining like why your character went back to the council is like one of the like key things that you kind of make up. Like, are you going back because you want one last like moment to like look at the council and be like, see all that? We did that. We did save the galaxy. And all of the horrible stuff that happened as a result wouldn't have happened if you've just gotten involved sooner. Or are you going back and being like, no, I understand that, like, I don't regret my decision, but I do understand that what I did like deserves judgment from you. Like there's a lot of nuance in how you can approach those decisions. And
what's the word for it?
I do think the Exile is a more
The Exile is the protagonist of KOTOR 2.
yes, yeah, that's the
I got your back.
vague canon name of them. They're a much more interesting character than the protagonist of KOTOR 1, who has a canon name, but spoilers. And okay, somewhat shifting gears.
Well,
Not
go ahead.
really. It's complicated. It's a complicated story. That's why I like it so much. The Exile is not on some grand journey to save the galaxy. They're sort of just they are healing as much as the galaxy is healing. And to that end, your companions, they're not like linked by some glorious mission. They're just hanging around you. They're loyal to you for their own reasons, and those reasons don't really bind them to each other, but it makes them feel a lot more personally connected to you, and that is something really cool too.
So I've did a couple of little doodles right here, which it's like my core principle on like what the whole like Sith Jedi light side dark side thing is about is that Jedi good Sith evil is a false dichotomy. Now you and I actually like yesterday, in fact, we're having a conversation about whether like what we've read about the Force, what we've read and seen, and all the things that we presented about the Force shows that there actually is a light side and a dark side to the Force. That's an entire conversation, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about whether the Sith versus the Jedi is good versus evil. It's not. Take a look at this, like this D&D style alignment chart. Where here's the good and evil axis, up and down. Here's the order to chaos axis, left to right. Here's the Sith. They occupy all three lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. All of that. The Sith just got this whole fucking bottom block like on lockdown. The Jedi aren't good. They're order. They are structure. They are lawful. They are lawful neutral. They are all about the rules and the structure and the dogma and the law. That's what the Jedi is. The only thing in all Star Wars fiction that's good is certain people. Certain people are good, but the Jedi are not good. They are lawful neutral. In the center, you got the Gray Jedi, the folks that are kind of like Jolee is like the center, is lawful neutral. It's true neutral.
Is neutral good.
You're right. You're right.
Because Jolee is not concerned with light and dark side.
Kreia.
He's concerned with being a good person.
Kreia is true neutral. Okay, I'm going to accept your mumbles and move on. Kyle. All right. Well, anyway, chaotic neutral
is a really complicated character.
Never mind that. Chaotic neutral is the scoundrels. All scoundrels. The scoundrel faction. They who are scoundrels are the chaotic neutral. Kyle, what is true neutral in Star Wars? What? Tell me.
At best, droids.
I accept this completely.
I
accept this in my heart and soul as canonically accurate.
Kreia is really fascinating, and I can only go in so much about her, but
well, obviously, like
she's she is the mentor character on your crew. She is like you're an experienced Jedi at the start of this. Like you were a full-grown adult at the Mandalorian Wars, and you've lived some since.
And there were some Force shenanigans that made you not have your powers, and you had to regain your powers. The shit happens.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. In fact, it's actually kind of a plot element. What the fuck happened to my powers? We didn't do that. Well, then what the fuck happened to my powers? I don't know. This is the thing. This is the thing in KOTOR 2.
I don't even think, like, I think you can even go into it on a, like, more personal aspect. Like, all the PTSD you suffered in war, like, that's a thing. Like, it's... There's a lot of depth to a lot of KOTOR 2. I actually think KOTOR 2, more than probably any other Star Wars story, has the least Force shenanigans plot hole covering. Like, there's reasonable explanations for everything.
I need to fucking finish this game.